The combination there, a bit of a scrambly start, Jeremy. Neither fighter really landing much, although Auger pressing forward, landing a couple there on Niddery.
Well, and Auger definitely wants to work inside. Niddery, the much longer fighter, some good shots and a bull rush here from Auger, pushing him up against the cage. Needs to lock those hands on the double. They came apart, and that's when Niddery was able to get his legs back. But you look at the position that he's in now, switching to a single, and a good defense by Niddery, using the whizzer or an overhook on the single leg side to stop the advantage.
And Auger really throwing a lot of punches up against the cage there, Jeremy. Trying to use that wrestling background to his advantage here up against the cage. They often say, and there's the successful takedown, that wrestling is the biggest advantage to start an MMA career with, because if you have that as a base, you can add striking a little easier than going in reverse.
Well, a lot of wrestling is about hips, and a lot of striking is about hips. If you throw and use your hips and legs, you're going to get a big advantage. And nice takedown there for Brent Auger. A little bit of elevation, not quite over top of the back, but still good elevation by Auger, and a takedown that leaves an exclamation point in the eyes of the judges.
Yeah, certainly does that. Also had some big strikes to the body just before that happened as well. So Brent Auger doing very well here in round number one of just the second fight of his amateur career. Auger landing another big right hand there. Again, this is novice amateur rules, so no striking to the head of a downed opponent. However, that ground and pound to the body still effective, Jeremy, in causing damage, removing air from the system of Ryan Niddery.
Well, and the amateur rules, if you've had both fighters are less than 3 fights, then it is the novice rules, as we see a little bit of space created here from Auger, and he's able to land those punches by turning his hips into each one. The fight that we are going to see, not the next one, but the one after our last amateur fight, both those guys have 4 fights, so they'll be under those advanced amateur rules.
Yeah, Auger did need to be careful there a moment ago, postured up and almost caught himself with an up kick from Niddery, which is legal here under the amateur rules. Again, big body punches, Jeremy. You can almost feel them in the mat. Auger is landing heavy, heavy punches from the top here.
Well, when you're 5'11 and 205 pounds, it's almost an armbar attempt there. And now a dangerous position here for Ryan Niddery. Short time remaining. He has to be very cautious that he doesn't get the reverse triangle. Here's Niddery now trying to put some effort in. Some pressure on a guillotine, but nothing happening at the end of the round there, as Auger looks like he has energy for days here.
Niddery coming out with some nice punches, but Auger responds, Jeremy, and came forward with the angry face as well, as he was driving Niddery up against the cage and now has him there.
And a guillotine attempt here, a little bit of modified on Auger, and now the back for Niddery, trying to use the jiu-jitsu continuity, but Auger able to solidify his position and now gets back to what we were talking about, those big ground shots.
So Auger pops up and again takes his knee off the ground. So you got to watch the strikes to the head there once you posture up like that, Jeremy. Again, looking for the arm bar there briefly. A big drop punch to the chest of Niddery. And Auger, again, more damage being done to the midsection here. Auger really getting his work done on top of Ryan Niddery.
Well, you could see the cardio, and now an attempt here at an Americana position, and it looks like Niddery is going to counter it, and he gets his own hands together, so the Americana no longer to do some damage, but another good position here for Brent Auger as he's able to land these big shots. This is when they say wrestling is a good base, because you don't run out of energy. Wrestlers are very, very, have amazing amounts of stamina just due to their long practices that are all 2 hours of intensity.
Again, more shots to the midsection. Auger being very effective from the top and landing damage. The coaches from Niddery, watch it, the coaches of Niddery calling for an armbar a couple times, but Auger able to defend, like you said earlier, Jeremy. The punch goes in and comes out right away. And they're thinking about a triangle. It looks like he might be trying for a triangle here, Jeremy.
Well, anything to try and stop the onslaught from Brent Auger and pushing away his hips, hands on the hips. This can be a dangerous position because if you can swing to the outside and get outside control just like Brent Auger did, that's going to leave yourself pretty exposed. And Auger ran into the cage but is now fully in the mount with 30 seconds to go.
Now, we've seen before, under these rules where you can't have the head of a downed opponent, the mount, Jeremy, not the most effective position to be in. And you can see him try immediately getting out of that, now standing up and looking for the half guard, trying to push off, and is looking maybe, Jeremy, for a knee bar here.
He's got the heel in. It is a lot of pressure on the heel hook. It's not a twisting heel hook because that's against the rules here, but it is some pressure, and Niddery knows that he's not in danger, does some damage at the end of the round.
Could be very interesting to maybe see what he could do if he could get down to a 185.
Well, and he does carry a little bit of extra weight on his frame, so 185 might be his eventual destination. But he leaves himself open here with that very, very open stance. He is open to those leg kicks, but so far Ryan Niddery hasn't taken advantage of them because of the wrestling of Auger. He's afraid of the takedown every time he goes for a leg kick.
And a nice knee there to the body, and a nice judo throw there from Auger. Again, landing Niddery on the ground, and this time Jeremy again looking for that guillotine choke, but quickly abandons it.
Good overhook here and good position. This getting in behind. This is just standard wrestling and good pulling guard for Ryan Niddery. But Ryan Niddery knows that he's 2 rounds down, so he has to get to work. So he's trying to isolate an arm. Does have an arm isolated here. A pickup by Auger, but no slam. And good thing for him because I think the slam would have been called.
Well, I was in the referees meeting beforehand with all the fighters, and they said that slam is legal under amateur rules because as the person being slammed, you have the opportunity to limit the damage and not land on your head. So as a result, that slam is legal here under the BC amateur rules.
Well, and we're happy for that.
Auger again continuing to work. Niddery kicks him off here, and Auger not letting him up at all and scrambles into side control. Jeremy, some nice speed from the big guy to get in, and now again trying to isolate that arm. Needs to get that other leg over, and now it might just be a matter of time cranking the arm, trying to find the arm bar here. Ryan Niddery in trouble, Jeremy.
It's good to see that Auger is trying to win this fight and trying to secure techniques because he feels safe to do so. He does have the arm now, but with the stacking that Ryan Niddery is doing, there's not going to be a worry for him. But now Ryan Niddery at the back with 50 seconds to work, and Auger immediately turns into it and gets inside the guard, and you saw the hand slam down from his corner. He's not happy here with Ryan Niddery and letting him have that, giving up that position.
Auger back on top where he spent the majority of this 3-round fight, continuing to land punches, continuing to stay busy, and certainly, Jeremy, going to win this fight in the eyes of the judges if it lasts another 23 seconds.
Some good punches being landed by Brent Auger, and he's being very careful about his position here. He knows he's won the fight if he can hold on, but it looks like he's trying to set up another heel hook, but a good push away from Ryan Niddery, and a takedown right at the end of the round, and that is going to definitely put the exclamation point on a victory for Brent Auger.